Okay, distance formula. Let's get started with the definition. The distance formula you probably learned like 100 years ago, but it's really just an extension of the Pythagorean theorem. Am I on pen?
Yeah.
So this is the distance formula here, and what we're really doing is we're taking this side length squared plus this side length squared.
Good one. Good one.
Always got to make the dot bigger if you miss. And this length here is going to be x2 minus x1. That's the distance between these 2 points. That's the length of that side of the triangle. And then this distance here is y2 minus y1. And if we plug that into our Pythagorean theorem, imagine this was d squared and we took the square root, we would end up with this formula here. And that's really where the distance formula comes from.
Yeah, and, again, when you're tutoring the younger kids, they're going to say, how do you know which one's x1 and which one's x2? Well, it really doesn't matter as long as x1 and y1 go together, and x2 and y2 go together. All right, this is a formula you need to know. All right, if there's anything you kind of got to memorize or whatever, that's a need-to-know formula. It is for my class anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so let's try an example here. I'm going to label my parts, especially if I'm tutoring the younger kids. I always write right on here, whoa, that was pretty brown, wasn't it? x1, y1, x2, y2. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
All right,
Then you have
roll
a
with
reference
it.
point.
Roll with it.
All right, so then it's basically, once you've labeled, you're just kind of plugging and chugging here. So d is the square root. Don't forget your square root. X2 we said was negative 1. Negative 1 and minus x2. X2.
Minus x1.
I'm sorry, minus x1 is said is negative 3 minus a negative 3 squared plus y2 minus y1, that's 1 minus 4 squared. Do we want to go step by step each?
I got it,
Okay,
I got it. Double negative, that becomes a positive. So negative 1 plus 3 is 2.
2, I think.
Squared is 4. Plus 1 minus 4 is negative 3.
Yes.
Negative 3 squared,
No.
9. So we have the square root of 13. Now, Mr. Cresswell and I, we like square root of 13 for our answer. All right? But when you go down to the science department, guess what? The science department, they don't like the square root of 13. They're going to have you go, what is the square root of 13? And they're going to have some answer like that with significant figures.
Right.
We like the exact answer, square root of 13. This is a decimal approximation. We like the exact. Cool?
Cool.
All right, thanks for taking our class.